So let me acknowledge the members of the DBE and the GBE, also Sapa Executive, and all of you, my fellow colleagues. I'm so happy to be here, and I thank you in advance for your attention, and I thank you in advance for your active participation. Listening is a low-level skill. That's why there's so many divorces. But if you sing together, as you saw, or if you have any kind of interactive common purpose with your spouse, you might stay married forever. I think I managed to stay married for a long time because I go on so many conferences to give my husband some peace. My topic this morning is curriculum management, C-A-R instead of C-U-R. And it's a strange topic in an education space. So what exactly informs this topic? First of all, has anyone ever asked you or invited you or instructed you to be a curriculum driver? Well, let me change the question. Who in this room is a curriculum driver? Freddy? Yes or no?
Yes.
Are you?
We are.
Sir, Mr. Ndebele? Yes, you are. Yes, my love, I love that. What about you, Julia? Are you a curriculum driver?
Yes.
Madubi? You speed the curriculum driving, especially now in June. We are rushing the curriculum. We are all curriculum drivers. And how that plays out in your school is up to you totally. People are curriculum drivers. But not only are people curriculum drivers, curriculum gets driven in a particular context. The acronym for context is PEST, P-E-S-T. I think partly because if you're a curriculum driver, a proper one, a proper one, you're going to be a pest because you'll always be wanting those analysis of results, those quality outcomes, etc. Okay, you're not going to be happy with the mediocre result, so you will become a pest. But the word pest itself is an acronym for the political, P, economic and environmental, E, social, S, and T, technological environment. We are all implementing the curriculum in a particular pest. Let me share something about my own personal curriculum journey. When I was a teacher at William Mills, as a rebellious person as I was a very, very active curriculum developer. I developed study guides for my students so that they not only engaged with the content, but they also engaged with the assessments. And those study guides remain unpublished up until today. Because as luck would have it, or some would say as God would want it, my next job did not make me use those study guides. I simply went there and I said, I'm a biology teacher, and they said, sorry, we do not offer biology. And my second engagement with curriculum on an intellectual level was when I undertook an analysis of outcomes-based education in the early 2000s, comparing how outcomes-based education is introduced in one school as well as another school. And context matters. It's easy for change to be effected in a developmental context. COVID is buffered in a developmental context. And then eventually I got a job as a primary school principal, and I really thought I was going to chill and relax, but I found there's a lot of curriculum driving to do in a primary school. I started an action research project where I grouped teachers together for a collaboration project. And in that collaboration project, I said there's only 4 things you need to do. And that is focus on improving content knowledge, CK. Focus on improving pedagogic content knowledge, PCK. Focus on improving assessment literacy, AL. And focus on improving professionalism. Because professionalism is the thread and the glue that ties the others together. And why do I call it a work of art? I feel I put so much into curriculum I could have retired 3 decades ago. But it never felt like work. It's effortless. You know those study guides that I told you was never utilized? They were. They were used by my biological children 25 years later. When my children were matric, I went into the garage, dusted the study guides, and gave it to them and said, learn. And they got A's in life science, now called life science. In fact, the 2 children have a combined set of 10 A's. So, did I drive the curriculum as a mom? Yes. In fact, they put limitations. Mom, you're overdoing it. Did my kids drive their own curriculum? Yes. In varying degrees. You got Lasbon syndrome. He did it his own way. And what about the husband? Do you think he played a role? A supportive father. I always say my kids have his brain because I still have mine. I just wanted to see if you're awake. I don't get the energy in the room. let's get to this part. This presentation is in 3 parts. The first part says, we drive the curriculum in our context. We drive the curriculum in whatever context we have. The second part says what? When we don't drive the curriculum, we literally crash it. And the third part must offer us a way forward. Otherwise, we are wasting our time. I always say it's hard to drive a curriculum because there's a chain of challenges. Just like a car, it's got so many parts. There's so many things to sort out when you're driving the curriculum. What do you pay attention to first? So you see, I've unpacked the chain there. And on the left, there are 3 categories. And on the right, there are 2 categories. And I have alphabet OCD, so they had to all start with a C. Alright? I want you to look at those 5 categories and I want you to think about 1 word or 2 words or 3 words, very short phrases about each one of them. And I want you to write it down. I want you to think, what is it I need to drive? What is it I need to drive? Or what is particularly challenging for me? And now, when I ask you to contribute, I'm also going to tell you in advance, I do not want long stories. It's a rapid fire response. Alright, pick your pens up in the air and can you write something down? Write down something, anything. And if you're ready, tell me you're ready. And if you're insecure, that's okay. Every single person that drives curriculum is insecure. I am insecure right now. All we do every day in our jobs is mask our insecurity and hope like hell that what we planned is going to land. That's all we do every single day. Alright, let's get a feel around the room. Anybody on this table, Sapa executive, anybody want to say anything? Kubala, nothing. It's Friday. Do you want to say something, ma'am, please?
Okay, morale and differentiation.
Morale and differentiation. Anybody else? Anybody? Scared? Thank you, love.
To be inspiring as a leader and building relationships.
Inspiring as a leader and to build relationships. Anybody here? Scared, are we? We are so scared to be wrong. How do we get children to be creative and critical thinkers? Yeah, anybody? Anything? No wrong answers? No? You're denied. Mercy.
I love myself.
Thank you. That's the right. If you know what? If you don't love yourself, the children will sense your insecurity and they'll punish you for it. This is where you say to the children, okay, you know what? I tried to get your opinion. Now I'm just going to give you mine. And until you listen and come up with your own voice, mine is the only voice that's going to count. So here's my voice. All right, curriculum. We have a CAPS curriculum. Its compliance is mandatory. It's a content-based curriculum, but we've got to teach with conceptual understanding, and there's a high cognitive demand in this curriculum. And you still want to build relationships with that. So we got to drive that it moves from simple to complex, concrete to abstract, and that they not only recall, but that they can comprehend and learn 21st century skills and do it in 1 year while they are with you. Those are all my C words on the content on its own. And these are all your responses that you did or did not give me. I know you have them. You're just not very participative right now, that's okay. In pink, I list all my assessment C words. Alright, so let's look at it. We have to collect data on learner achievement. But is that quality data? If I asked you, let's measure the length of our program director. Alright, could I use a bathroom scale? The height of the program director. Could I use a bathroom scale? What is it I'm supposed to use? A tape measure, even a ruler, even my hands. Sir, you are 10 hands tall. Right. That's a valid assessment. A valid assessment uses a tool that measures what it's supposed to do. Whether it's a measuring tape or hands, it still measures how tall he is. What is a reliable assessment? Anybody? Anyone who knows what a reliable assessment is? Yes? You could use it over and over again. It should yield consistent results. But the way I sell it to my teacher is, I need 2 people to mark one assessment and get the same result. 2 people to mark if program director wrote a maths test, and gentleman marked it and lady marked it. Should the marks be different?
No.
Yeah?
No, I was thinking about
Oh, the hands, yes. Definitely. What ma'am is saying is, if you use different tools, you're going to get a different result. But I'm putting to you, we use the same test from the same person and we get different results. It's unreliable, thank you. And which assessments yield the most unreliable results? Do you think it's a test-based assessment with a mark allocation or a memorandum, or do you think it's a rubric? A rubric yields the most unreliable results. Most. Because jump on one leg, I can do what's on me and I jump, and another person does a big jump, and we all just mark them. Or we may not even mark them, we just fill it in at home. Right, let's move faster. We need reliable and valid assessments. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if you've never had a staff room meeting where you said to your teacher, this is not a reliable and valid assessment, and if you've never defined those words with your staff, with your SMT, there's a lot of work to be done. Because I know in the district they're mentioning the words reliable and valid. So we can't just think it's their job. We must get the discussion of reliable and valid down in our own spaces. If it is valid and reliable, then why are people going to corrupt methods, thumb-sucking of marks? They can't set tests. I found people cannot set tests. And also, we got to ask the question then, is it credible? Is it credible? Okay, so say now, I have a child that comes from Tsakani and he speaks isiZulu at home, and in Afrikaans, prat, he gets 80%. You know what I say to the teacher? Bring Sipho here, let me hear how he prat. If anyone gets 7s in the school, my SMT are tasked to moderate that 7. If anyone gets 2, they are tasked to moderate the 2. Do they do it well? I don't know, but at least the conversation is there. And is it something you won't do? Is it not our job? Is it the deputy principal's job? Is it the departmental head's job? Somebody's got to be driving it. And I don't drive it so much anymore, but I have driven it. And now I have a reasonable expectation that the deputy will be doing it or the departmental head will be doing it. Okay, right. Do you know if you are not checking on this, you are colluding? You are colluding with the bad result. Colluding, what does colluding mean? You are complicit in the crime. You are complicit in the crime of us having bad results in our school or very high results that are not a true reflection of a child's work. Let me get to this side. I call it criminal. I call it criminal, and it doesn't mean you're going to get locked up, but it's criminal, and this is why I say it's criminal, because it's an injustice to their child to get high results in grade 4, high results in grade 5, 6, 7, and boom, you come to grade 8. The national average for mathematics is 38%. And you know every district is flagging those results and saying, grade 7s, why are your results so high, and your grade 8 results are poor? Right, and what counts? What counts? Do you think only the June exam counts? Before you got to the June exam, you should have had a lot of informal activities that learners did, so you can prepare them thoroughly for the June exam. So informal work that doesn't count, work that children say, man, it doesn't count. You make it count, and you tell them why. You say, if I show you how to answer questions in the test, you're going to do well. Because whether it's a sad reality or not for you, it's simply this. We cannot just prepare children for content learning. We have to prepare them to answer assessments. Every matric teacher knows that. But we can't just drive curriculum at matric level. Right. And then all your answers. Also, what counts is holistic development. It cannot just be about academics. So while I'm driving content and while we're driving assessments, most feedback given today was on relationships. And if you're dealing with relationships, that means you're dealing with staff. And have you ever asked yourself, I wonder about this new generation. Why are they doing teaching? Is it really a calling? Are they competent, confident, committed, compliant with the code of ethics? I'm not sure. And then more than that, do they have emotional intelligence? Do they have emotional intelligence to calm, composed, and in control of their emotions in times of conflict, because hello, Sasa has amended, right? Can we clap a child? And then we want to build the efficacy of every teacher. We need the teacher to stand in class and say, you know what? I'm going to go as confident as Marcia Roberts and stand in front of the class, own my space. Children want to see a confident adult in front of them. They don't want to see a mean, weenie, whiny person, because one of the hallmarks of emotional intelligence, you are masking your emotions for the benefit of that engagement with children. Okay, so I can, I will, I learn, I ask, I account. That is the mantra that I sell to my teachers. I think I've even made a video on it, if you want to see it. And I'm going to end with the last 3 C's on this one. Circle of influence, circle of concern, and circle of control. Circle of concern is when I clutch my pearls and say, I'm worried about the education system in South Africa, I'm worried about the crime rate, I'm worried about the put-latrine toilets, etc. But all I'm doing is clutching my pearls and maybe having a drink and just having a discussion. Circle of concern is not a concern that you can exercise influence on.
When I was saying to me, there are 2 critical ones that the kids need to reflect on. It should not be much of concern, but it should be the influence. Because your influence can go far. Though there are challenges, but how you are able to make the kids see the bigger picture, but also the issue is a of control, so that you will have the ability as a curriculum driver to control the environment in which you're in a position to ensure that you end up able to thrive.
Thank you so much. Circle of concern. Clutch my pearls, the crime rate is so high. Can you do anything about it? Yes, you can. In your circle of influence, come into the safe class. Come into the safe space. Let me make sure you are emotionally and physically safe. As Sir has said, focus on what you can do. Focus on what you can influence, rather than focus on your concern. What about colleagues? Colleagues is an aspect to drive in your organization. And the reason why you want to drive what is happening among the colleagues is not because you want to control people. You can never control people. But you want to make sure that if they are sitting and gossiping about you, let it be 5 minutes or 10. Or make it a weekend situation, whatever works for them. As I said, I did a collaboration project and I thought this is going to be so cool, we're going to collaborate, we're going to get on with each other, and I found teachers cannot collaborate readily. So in other words, we talk about professional learning communities, we talk about collaboration, but we assume collaboration is getting together and talking. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not that. Talk is cheap. They'll talk about everything else in their circle of concern rather than talk about what is in their circle of control. That is what I found for myself. If you're in a better context, good for you. Alright, so where does it all go wrong? When you start to coordinate roles and you say, you do this, you do this, you do this, you do this, and you come plan to the next professional learning community. And you come and I'm with the principal sitting there and I see no planning has come to the meeting. No assessment to come to the meeting. And not even my authority can make a teacher do that well, is what I found. And yes, then it requires effective communication. And yes, it means you are going to give constructive feedback. Now, can you build a relationship with someone? Maybe in the way two contributors said, when you keep telling them, sir, but your planning is not here on time. Yes, you can. It is called upon us to be highly effective communicators. And you can say 5 positive things and then say, sir, but this does not allow us to collaborate well. Okay? And will it cause conflict? Will it? You think people are happy to hear they haven't planned? Or maybe you're not telling them that, so you can't relate to the question. You're just happy that they did not plan. You're not driving. You're sitting behind somebody who's driving. Right. Okay, and what is emotional contagion? Emotional contagion is you've made somebody upset, not intentionally. You thought you're just doing your job. To say, sir, your assessment does not meet the requirements of a good standard. Everyone's going to get 7s, and then you didn't challenge anybody, and he's upset. And then he goes into the staff room and finds more friends that are upset. Like the virus, the upset goes out of control. You walk past someone and you don't know why they married you. And just, morning sir, morning ma'am, be a Marcia Roberts. Why not? If you are not going to love yourself and be confident in yourself and have the efficacy you need your teachers to have, and you say, I can, I will, etc. But what is the highest goal? The highest goal is this one at the bottom. As teachers, as leaders, we should be critically interrogating the practices at our school to find out, is it meeting learner needs? Here are my children's C words. What cohort of learners do you have? I need you to pick up your hands right now if you say, this is a bright group of kids. Anybody? One person, please give me hope. Joanna. No one? No one is saying, Miss, no one. So in other words, we're not writing the curriculum and we know the learners are weak. What does it say about us? We're not prepared to put in the effort. We're not prepared to be unpopular. We need to be liked. We need to make other people feel happy about the mediocre work they are doing. I do believe we need to care for teachers. But I also know that a teacher that's achieving good results when they first did not has a different kind of like for you, a respect that you allow them to grow. That's what I believe. And if that's never the truth, then there's nothing I can say about it. But we had a sports guy who said that the concentration and complacency of children is poor, or are poor. Have you ever had a child say, give me 0, man? It's okay, give me 0, man. Really? You want 0? You want 0? I say to the child, okay, grade 7, you know what? I'm sorry, if there's a SIPO in the house, is there a SIPO in the house? I say, sorry, SIPO, okay, you know what? You and I need to have a chat. If you're planning to do grade 7 over 2 years, just plug me in on that. And then I'll chill on you. It's your choice. If you're planning to chill for the next 2 years, let me park you for now. And then, are children cognitive ready? Do they have conceptual gaps? You just said they're not good. Do they have curriculum clarity? Do they know where they're driving? I don't know. And what do you think children do? The good children realize, I'm just going to tell this teacher 5 things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll get 5 out of 5. I'll get my top 10 badge. Thank you very much. I'm not going to be creative. I'm not going to be critical thinking. I'm not even going to bother to co-construct knowledge with this school. Big problem in South Africa. Classroom. What happens in the classroom? Class size, class control, class culture, class climate. Do I know a lot of C words? I also know a lot of F words. Please invite me next time to the Sapa conference. You know, fail, find, feed. The truth is that I said laugh at me or laugh with me, I'm going with that. I'm totally owning that. Right. If you have a productive culture and you sell that, and you try and sell it, even at the risk of unpopularity, you sell the productive culture, I tell you, you're going to win in 2 ways. And the 2 ways are contact time and corrective lessons, corrective work lessons. Contact time is the time you are with those kids. Contact time is the time you were with your teachers. Do you want to make that time count? Then you need a productive culture. Which means in my school at the moment, and this is a true story, they are not only planning for the June exam, they plan for term 3. Am I a pest? I own that. I'm a pest for the teacher until the teacher realizes how their planning brings about good results, and the teacher has, aha, oh man, yeah. Now that teacher can go to any school and be a departmental head and be the better teacher in that school. That's okay. And if you are having a productive culture, you will definitely have time where you spend an hour. I have a maths teacher, she said, man, I'm going to take 1 hour with this corrective work. Because in this corrective work, I need the child to understand which step went wrong. What was the thinking that brought about the mistake? Firstly, to appreciate the mistake. We must have a culture of making mistakes. Oh, I know where I made a mistake. Thank you so much. I need to adapt my thinking here. Let me tell you, my voice is not your voice right now. True or not? It's not. But in teaching, you want your voice to be their voice. Because their voice is going to be written on paper as their answer. So you want to be thinking or understanding how they think. Okay, it's a very difficult thing. to get really involved in driving the curriculum, you all failed your license, and I'm just assuming that because of your lack of participation. But I hope you're driving in your school, people. And can I be controversial? I can, because it's a word that starts with. Thank you. The clicker does not click. It's a C word.
Yeah.
Alright, last word on this. I feel that what I did in 1980s when I was at Williams and no one was really leading me, on my own, was to create a classroom that's not a flipped classroom. Because a flipped classroom assumes that children can go home and learn on their own. And I'm not sure if children can do that in our context. In a flipped classroom, you're doing the content and you're doing the assessments and you're preparing them for everything, everything. You have to do it if you really want these children to do well in the school. Right, let me check in with you. How are you feeling? It's heavy, right? You want to say something? Controversial. Controversial. Is that what I am right now? Okay. Oh, we've got another one. Great. Thank you. This is the last one. Parents. We have two parents here. And yes, I don't relate to governing body problems. So with parents, what is their biggest C word? Criticism. Right. Mostly, most teachers will say. Okay. So, when a car crashes, they say it feels like it's going in slow motion. I can hear something, it's loud. I can see something. I can smell something. I can feel something. And then I'll say to my friend, but at least you don't taste nothing. Not all senses are involved. And she'll say, no. What about the bitter pill of the bow? The bitter pill of the bow. Is a car crash costly? Yes. What about curriculum crashing? Is that costly? Can a car crash take away your life? Can a curriculum crash take away your life and your livelihood? Right, okay. I'm going to share this poster with you, each one of this. And this is one of the main reasons why I call it the curriculum model. The thing that makes us crash is, number one, a teacher doesn't know, really likes a topic. Which topic do you like? What do you teach, ma'am? Which topic do you like? Reading. So every day in ma'am's class we'll be reading. We won't do literature, we won't do composition, we'll only read. That's limousine model. I like something, I stretch it. And then what about a topic you don't like? Fractions. Let me park it, okay? And then the other picture on the left, the winding road. You know the teacher that comes to class on a Monday and talks about Amapiano, Bafana, everything else but the content, entertaining but really not valuable. What about the flat tire? The flat tire is when you did not bother to let children encounter a multiple choice question in class and let them see it for the first time in the exam. Okay, that is, you did not fill their tire to go to the destination of the test. Right? Speeding fine. I guarantee you, there are teachers on the speeding fine now. Because it's June exam, and what did they not do, Mr. Klongwami? H is exactly the correct answer. The teacher wakes up and says, by the way, do you know what's in the test? This is in the test, and that's in the test, and that's in the test, and I did not cover content. So let me quickly cover 10 topics today. That is speeding fine. They must get a speeding fine. But what if there's more than one teacher that has the same problem? If 4 of them teach grade 4s and 3 of them have a speeding fine, what do we have now, people? A traffic jam. Let's go to the warning signs at the bottom. Now in your car, when you drive your car, if you see a warning sign on the dashboard, do you just say, it's cool, I'll still get to Indaba Hotel? You must do what I do. I park it and take my husband's car. I don't have time for that nonsense in my life. But I still made a plan. To change the vehicle for the purpose of getting somewhere safely, and we are bombarded by signs that things are going wrong. We see it, we hear it, we feel it. It's a bitter pill. We taste it. But we kind of let it go because we're not driving the curriculum, okay? So will you drive your car if they say there's no air in the tire? No. Then you know how they say, Lord, take the wheel? That's what this meeting is all about, this session. Teachers take the wheel. We cannot have unskilled drivers and unskilled leaders in our organization driving the curriculum with no air in the tire, no fuel in the tank, on a bumpy road, over potholes, and expect them to come to the result and it says it's reliable, valid, and credible. Can we? Were we doing that? And what about the Hutu leader? I've called my teachers who, by the way, my staff knows about all of this, and I've also made a video and uploaded it into YouTube. So I'm not talking about something that doesn't happen in my school. The Hutu leader comes in the morning, knock at the door. Sorry to bother you, ma'am, and she honks that horn. The kids are bad, the parents are bad, the children are bad, everybody's bad. It's loud, it's noisy, and I just take a pause and I say, where were you? Like, it was happening, where were you? At what point do you decide, or do you learn, or do you figure out something's going wrong with the curriculum and the car's gonna crash? Do you only do that after the crash? Missing brakes, no pit stops. Break is a pause. End of term, you say, guys, we are in trouble here. Let's reflect. Let's see what we need to do. First, give them 10 minutes to reflect their feelings, their frustration, their anger, even at you. Let them get it out. I believe that's how you build a relationship. Some people bring sweets. You can do that. And then put the foot down on the brake and say, this is a pit stop. What happens at a pit stop? If you're a racing car driver, what do? They change the tires. They're doing stuff, you know. He needs to win the race, I'm sure. And then last but not least, most people focus on this to the exclusion of all else. And I know it's an area I must improve on more maybe, but I'm a fun person. I struggle to bring it into school when we have problems. When we have problems, I'm a solution-driven person. Let's go. So you're going to get stuff that are going to hate you. And I've been told this, and I won't lie, I'll share it with you. Ma'am, why do I have to work in your school? I said, you don't. That's the thing. You don't have to work in the school. You can, because she said, because if I go to another school, I can have less pressure, less stress, and get the same salary. I said, true. No lie. And me too. I came to the primary school, I can chill. I can. It's just not my nature. Okay? I want my children to have A's. I want your children to have A's. I do. Here's a picture. What do we do? What do we do? Is there anything you can do with all of this? Guys, go to your school and say, what is first gear for us? Let's just, maybe we were not even in gear, maybe we were in neutral, let's get into first gear. For my school, first gear is planning. If everyone starts term 3 with all their planning, first gear. You see, the district always says proper prior planning prevents poor performance. Second one, engaged teaching. Not teaching where you say you got your planning now, sit at the desk. No. Engaged teaching. Here you want to build relationships with the children and see, do they understand? We're talking about glaciers, and this child has never even seen the movie with the penguins' happy feet. So you want to bring the happy feet video for them to see and do a little dance. And then number 3, assessment for learning. Assessment for learning is before the June exam. Before the June. Assessment for learning is before the June exam. Assessment for learning is before the June exam. Assessment for learning is before the June exam. And let's go to number 4, collaboration of learners and collaboration of staff. That is why I said to you, a lot of people are dropping the collaboration ball and just saying, we are going to collaborate. But to collaborate, it's very hard to do. And I don't like to write that leadership on the 5th gear. In my opinion, leadership is the 1st gear, the 2nd gear, the 3rd gear, and the 4th gear. What is the R? Razia. Full of nonsense. Refuel and reflect. Be a ruckus, rebellious leader in your space. You know, my teachers come and say revolutionary greetings, ma'am. I said, do you know I had rubber bullets against me? I had tear gas and you revolutionary greeting me. Okay, fine, no problem. Let me receive that. Now let me tell you where the real revolution is. It's in your class. You want to change South Africa? Go change it in your class. Do it now. You are late. There's a model. Even if you just take the picture, I believe the PowerPoints are all going to be shared. Already? Copyrights, huh? C word. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the human soft touch. Gears are different. You got those first, second, third, and then you got these interconnected ones somewhere in the car. Here's something else you can try. I'm just giving you options so you can see what lands and what can work in your context. You know, when a teacher plans, the teacher must say, okay, what are my cognitive gears, the content gears? Will it be motivational to the child? Perhaps not. They've never heard of the iceberg. Will it be memorable? Perhaps not. Will it be meaningful? Okay, Happy Feet is coming up. Play Happy Feet for 10 minutes because there's ice and penguins and music and they will love that. And then from there, you go to the other gears. And then when you're teaching, also recognize there are emotions at play. They call it the social emotional gears or PET. What's the P? Passion. Your passion will make you sweat. That's what I always say. And if you stand in front of the class and you say, I want to help you be your best, they will come to the party. I've seen it for myself in many different contexts. Agency is where the child is a co-driver. The child understands where we're going, what the difficulties are, because you possibly shared it. Maybe you came up with a topic you don't like, fractions. And you say to the children, we have to do fractions. I don't understand fractions, but I went to when I learned it and I saw the school video and I'm going to play it to you and see if that lands with the kids. And I think if that is your method, you will build trust. I have 5 minutes, last slide. Ladies and gentlemen, I've taken the wheel of curriculum. I don't know if it was passed on by my mother, my love for reading, my love for learning. My granny was illiterate, both of them. And now in my family, we can actually say we've moved from illiteracy to PhD. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And they taught me the value of learning, the value of learning. And that's all I want to do. I want to bring that value of learning to my teachers. So take the wheel. Don't ask the Lord to take the wheel. Or you can say, Lord, take the wheel with me. Whatever works for you. You are not just a driver, you are building that car, you're carving the path, and you are also creating new pathways for the children as well as the teachers in your school. You need to manage and lead, but we're just not covering content. Even if you bring that topic of glaciers in, you're uncovering a potential that teacher, that learner might become a skier on ice one day. Who knows? So this is really a call to action. Let's steer our schools into brighter futures. You know, we have to end with nice words. Not because we avoided the crash. Do you think I'm telling you don't crash? Please crash. Crash many times. But if you put the brakes on and decide to learn from the crash, then you will have developed a different relationship with your staff and learners. My final quote is, great drivers don't just follow the road, they shape the journey. My mom shaped my journey. I've shaped the journey of everyone in my sphere of influence. If anything landed with you, I was successful today. Thank you.